Hi there, Visionary family, and welcome back to another one with Lady Visionary. Hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. If you're new to the channel, make sure you go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become part of this growing family. For those of you who don't know, I'm Lady Visionary. I relocated from the UK to Rwanda with my family. At the time, it was me and my husband and my two boys, but now it's me and my husband and three boys. So yes, I had another baby a couple months ago. So a whole newborn that I'm dealing with behind the scenes. It's been great. It's been very interesting. Three boys, guys. Yes, some people are saying go for the fourth one. It's going to be a girl. But to be honest, guys, I'm just happy with my little family and my boys, and yeah, all the smothering and the kisses and everything. So I'll wait a little while for some of you to join. This is a very interesting conversation, and I really want to wait for a couple of people to join. Maybe you're going to have questions. Those of you who are here currently in the live, or even with the replay, you can send your questions down below in the comment section, and I'm very active in the comment section, so I can definitely answer your questions. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been quite a while since, I've done a live or been doing lives. So it's going to take me a little bit of time to, get into my stride again with all these lives and speaking directly. So hopefully, we can build on that and also get you, my audience, my subscribers also engaged again, asking questions and things like that, and also participating. You may have something that you want to say, and you don't have to show your face on camera per se, but also you could just allow your audio, and we can hear a lot from you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I did put out on my community page yesterday, so you know that I will be coming on live. I'm just here for about 30 minutes, guys, because the nanny's looking after my baby, and I said, oh, I'll be 30 minutes because he's very attached to me. So I try not to leave him for very long. So I said I have to come and speak with you guys because there's something on my heart that I need to sort of let out, to pour out. Hopefully it will translate, it will come across in the best way possible. For those of you who are listening in, make sure you give me a thumbs up. This is quite interesting. I'm on this whole health journey. I'm on this whole health journey, and some of you have obviously seen some of my videos where I'm talking about my home garden, planting different fruits and vegetables. For a long time, I know, and many of you out there know, that food in the West, I believe, has been weaponized, especially amongst the Black community, in terms of, the type of foods that are available to us. We struggle a lot with cardiovascular diseases. So that's the Black community in America and in Europe. Cardiovascular diseases, stroke, diabetes, hypertension. I know that to be true. You can also do your own research. I've done extensive master research on this, so I know what I'm talking about. So I'm basically challenging you to become more conscious about the foods that you're eating. Some of us, as much as it's great, scrolling through content on whether it be Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, as much as it can be entertaining, I think it's also important to think about the time, we spend scrolling through social media, and perhaps direct some of that time towards our health, towards exercising daily. So those of you who are watching and will watch a replay, I'm encouraging you to take control of your health, take better control of your health, right? And also, even though I'm in Africa, and a lot of people think that, oh, you're in Africa, you're eating healthy, you're doing this, and you don't have as much pesticides and this, that. But what you may not realize is so many things have been weaponized, even towards Africa, whether it's the food or whether it's been vaccinations, healthcare, and so on and so forth. So, just making you guys aware of that. And for me, I'm very much into my health, very much into planting my own foods, eating more organically, and everything like that. So I just want to take the time to greet who is in the building. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate that. But our topic today, I just want to kind of come back on focus, is about diaspora, African diaspora unity, right? And I think it's a very important topic. It's a very, very important topic. So please do try to stick around. You may also have some comments or some ideas to share with others in the comment section. Please put as much as you can in the comment section so others can learn. And I'm also looking at the comment section as well. So I would really love to engage with you through the comment section. And again, if anybody would like to come in, I'll try my best again to send out the link so that you can come in and speak to the audience. Just indicate by using the number 1 maybe to tell me that you want to come in and contribute towards the topic. I'm seeing, who am I seeing in the building? I'm seeing Ivan Smith from Philadelphia, USA in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sharon is in the building. Hi, Sharon. How are you? I don't want to pronounce names wrong. Please don't, is it Chile? Food is weaponized, true. Hello, I'm from South Africa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I agree with you, Lady Visionary, says Sharon Gooden. So, right, let's get into this. So we've got a couple of you in the building, and I've only got half an hour for the fact that I have my baby who's behind the scenes waiting for me with the nanny. So he's doing well. They're all doing well. All my boys are doing well. And do bear with me because I have got my points in front of me, because I just kind of want to stay on topic, and I hope that you will get as much out of this as possible, right? You will get as much out of this as possible, or we as well, because I'm also here to learn. I'm also here to learn, right? One of the reasons, the topic about African diaspora unity is such a sensitive one. We've had the likes of Kwame Nkrumah from Ghana, who's talked about a lot about African unity and the importance of African unity, saying, well, united we're strong, divided we fall. And I feel like a lot of people haven't really, a lot of people just kind of read it and just say, yes, Black power, we're Africans, let's stick together. But they really don't understand, or their actions don't really embody what African unity means. And a lot of people talk about Pan-Africanism, but they don't actually know what Pan-Africanism means, right? And I'm speaking on this also because, we do have a growing a number of diasporans who are, choosing to leave the Americas, to leave Europe, and relocate to Africa. And that's something that you really have to put a lot of thought into before moving. I spoke many times on my channel about, the fact that relocating, when you've lived somewhere nearly all your life. For example, for me, I've lived in the UK, for example, nearly all my life. So it was something that I really had to consider in terms of, why am I relocating to Rwanda? Yes, I have a husband that's Rwandan, I have children that are Rwandan, but that can't be the sole reason as to why I'm relocating to Rwanda. And so I really had to dig for my why. And a part of my why was my purpose, my overall purpose for being, my overall purpose for wanting to make a contribution to the continent, right? And as the African diaspora, we are here to basically collaborate, unite, come together, share ideas, and develop, help contribute and develop Africa, right? That's the kind of mindset we need to have. I understand that some people, their minds really are in the gutters. They see the African community or people who are relocating to Africa as an opportunity, maybe to steal, to, you know, they don't come with the right intention. They come with ill intentions. And that's where you have to really home into the spirit of discernment. The spirit of discernment, what is that? For me, it's like your gut feeling when you interact with people, or maybe it's intuition that tells you that this is not the right way to go. Some of us are moving on impulse. Impulse is like, right, let me just get onto the bandwagon now. Let me just jump on this quickly because maybe I'll lose out. But I feel like you will not lose out on anything that is meant for you. You will not lose out on anything if you take your time to assess the situation before you take action. And so that's why why I also want to encourage those out there not to move on impulse. You know, when I was moving to Rwanda, I had to really, although I didn't know the full scale of things, and I was partly walking by faith, you know, and believing that, you know, the path will be paved out as I move forward and I gain further understanding about my purpose, and what is driving me forward. You know, somehow things will work out. Um, you know, and also thinking about the spirit of discernment, or discerning the type of people I can join forces with, and the type of people maybe that I can't join forces with. Because sometimes our intuition tells us, actually, this is not right, or, you know, you shouldn't do that. But we ignore that, we put it aside, and we continue to do our own things. And that's where we end up basically in the gutters, blaming others, because you've now joined onto somebody else's vision, but because you weren't clear of your own. And that's where you really have to take, you know, full accountability for your decisions, especially, you know, most of us doing the move to the continent, we're adults, you know, and we need to take accountability for our own actions. So I feel like that's very important. And, you know, when we are united as diasporans, obviously many of us are here, we've gone through the experiences, we can share knowledge with each other. And when I moved to Rwanda, I didn't know everything, but with the knowledge I had alongside my husband, we tried our best, and still we do try our best to inform others. You know, for a long time, I've been doing the relocation consultations. That's where people, you know, book consultations with me, either by phone or video call, where we just kind of discuss their different ideas, what I think, what is the research on the ground. Because also a lot of the times you won't fully understand, because a lot of the times people are looking online and it's you know, it's a lot of information, a lot of maybe theory that you have to kind of look through. But when you're on the field, then you really get a more in-depth understanding that informs your choices in terms of moving forward. For example, you may have a business idea and you may say, oh my God, I think this will work in Rwanda. But when you get on the ground, you may find actually what I thought wouldn't actually work, or maybe I have to adapt in this way. So that's where the consultations come in, where I help you to gain clarity and understanding, because I'm on the ground. I can do a bit of the field work as well for those who are interested to relocate to Rwanda. You know, information is critical, information is key, information sharing is key. You know, it's important that we are very kind of transparent with each other in terms of information, because it helps another person, you know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, there have been some incidences where people have relocated, maybe they haven't had the right information, they've done it out of impulse, they've seen another person who is on the continent and say, if they're doing it, then I can do it. And that's true, but you don't know exactly how they're doing it. And that's where you need to really dig deep for information before you jump on the bandwagon and come, because many people are blaming others, as I said, instead of taking accountability for our own decisions. And nobody's telling you to get on that plane, or no one is forcing you to book that ticket. And you know, so I think it's very important to be fair and to be honest with yourself about your own mistakes and perhaps where you have gone wrong, and you know, helping others as well by giving the right information to say, for example, saying, you know what, I did this, but I think I could have done this, which would have been a better experience. There's a lot of kind of blame game. There's a blame game in terms of people who have relocated. Maybe it hasn't gone out, sorry, it hasn't gone according to plan. They've People who have come and indulge in different business ideas that hasn't also has failed, and they've lost money. People who have invested with the wrong people, inexperienced people, and that's gone wrong as well. You know, it's important to do your due diligence so that, you know, you don't lose money and then you don't end up blaming others. But there's a lot that, you know, we talk about the diaspora and how unity can really help us move forward. We've lost a lot of our history through colonization and all of that. So, you know, coming together can really help us to restore. We have so many shared things in common, you know, and there's such a beauty in collaboration and coming together and sharing ideas and stories and learning our history. Because the first time I touched foot down on the continent was it back in 2010? My first country that I visited was Ghana, and that was an opportunity to connect with my brothers and sisters in Ghana, and also to learn more about my history and connect me more to my roots in terms of understanding more about my identity, where I'm coming from. 'Cause Bob Marley says, if you know your history, then you know where you're coming from, you know, and also it helps you to know, also figure out where you're going. So that's where I personally started. I started my journey in Ghana, learning about my history, my people, and where I'm coming from, because, you know, a lot of you can relate that, you know, in schools we weren't really taught much about our history. Like, much of our history really kind of just focus on colonialism and slavery, much of our history, right? And so when I visited Ghana, I also saw, you know, I learned more about the history, about myself. I learned more about the people, the food, the culture, you know, a lot of what wasn't available to me, I think, in the UK. So please bear with me as I am looking down to gather all my points together. Thank you so much to everyone who's in the building. Make sure you smash on that like button if you're in the building and you're enjoying the conversation. The next point I have on here, it's about, you know, empowerment. How, when we collaborate and we are informed and we know our history and we know our roots, and how that can empower us for future generations, you know, because me being in Rwanda, me learning about my roots is not just about for me, it's not just about me, but it's also about my children and their children's children, you know. So I'm building something significant. I'm building something so significant. And I want to touch upon this point because it's been trending This lady, you may know her from the UK in the Conservative Party. Her name is Kemi Badenoch. She said how she's a Nigerian woman, and she said she doesn't identify as Nigerian. She's married to a white man, so she also has children who are mixed race, so half Nigerian and half white. And that is such a powerful statement. And I said on Twitter today that I don't think she understands the magnitude of what she has is saying. And perhaps in the future, when she reflects, she will actually have to apologize, maybe not publicly, but also to her children, because to say that you don't identify as Nigerian because she's I think she was born in the UK. She's very much connected to the UK and stuff. She's married to a Caucasian person, but I feel it was unjustified for her to say that, because home is where your roots is coming from, and her children, that is part of their identity. So for your parents to throw that away, for her to throw that away, she doesn't understand the magnitude of the damage that she could possibly cause to her children. And for me as a mother, being also of Jamaican heritage, and my sons are Rwandan, I think it's very important for them to know where they're coming from, their roots, their culture. It's so important because it forms part of their identity. I remember when I went to Ghana, before I went to Ghana, part of why I went to Ghana back in 2010 is because I felt like I was also struggling with identity. I was going through maybe an identity crisis. Nobody taught me, no one told me. So I was on this journey of identify or discovering self, more about my identity, more about my roots. And that's when I felt like, wow, I actually know who I am now through this journey of going to Ghana and learning more about my history. So for her to say that, as I said, I don't think she understands the multitude of what she's saying, right? We talk about diaspora unity, the importance of connecting, how we can help to build each other up, some of the struggles that we may go through. If you know your brother sister is struggling, then you can give a helping hand. That is diaspora unity, African unity. We carry each other. We see other societies, should I say other societies, other communities that come together. For example, the Asian community who come together and they collaborate in business. One person may not be there yet, but they will support each other, give accommodation, for example, or maybe give a job to their brother or sister to know what is going on in the environment before they start their own thing. So there's really a powerful force behind diaspora unity that I think a lot of us have still not grasped. And also that's also contributing significantly to why a lot of diasporans are coming to Africa and they're failing and ending up going back to the Americas or going back to Europe. You have to come with the right attitude, the right spirit. Some of you are coming and you're coming with a lot of weight, with a lot of baggage. And I understand we all have our baggages, but you just have to let some of that go. You really have to let some of that go. You take out your frustrations when things are going wrong. Like, I've been here for a couple of years now. I've been in Rwanda for a couple of years. And, still I face challenges, but my purpose and my why has kept me moving towards my vision and goal in Rwanda, right? And since I've been away from YouTube for a while, I've still tried to, although I haven't been able to, keep up with my YouTube appearance, I've been doing so much behind the scenes, so much behind the scenes. And some people may speculate and say, well, what's Lady Visionary, what's she doing? My hotel is functional, my hotel is running. I've been able to support girls into education, undergraduate level, who have graduated. I'm currently supporting a refugee girl from Congo who has lost both her parents. I'm currently funding her, with my husband, for her to go through education and make a life for herself. She's lost both her parents. She's in school. She is 20 years old. She's been with me for just over a year. We are supporting her, you know? So giving back to the community, giving back to people in need. A lot of us are so self-centered that we cannot see, we just cannot see further than ourselves. And that's where, you know, African unity comes in. You have to be selfless to some extent, you know. As some of us are thinking, me, what can I get? What can I gain? Take a step back. What can you give? What can you learn? How can you collaborate? How can you understand? You know? So there's a lot that I've been doing behind the scenes, even though I've been off YouTube due to pregnancy and illness and so on. But there's been a lot that I've still been doing, which I haven't said on here. So Sharon is saying, I heard about, I think you're talking about Kemi from the UK, from the Conservative Party. So, as I said, I'm looking down. Yeah. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. As I said, I was looking down because I've got my phone and I have specific points that I wanted to talk about, and just creating some structure and getting back into the whole idea of doing lives again. Does anybody have any questions at all? If you don't, then I will be closing the live very, very shortly. As I said, I would only be on here for about half an hour. But, you know, I want to reassure you that there's real power in unity. And I think, unfortunately, that's something that the diaspora still are not grasping very well. The importance of unity, the importance of coming together, the importance of collaborating, the importance of just being there for each other, the importance of just stripping back and being selfless. That selfishness, you see your brother winning, or you see someone doing something good, instead of trying to encourage them, to elevate them to the next level, you're the person who's gossiping, sharing untrue rumors, trying to pull them down. It just, it's really sad to see. It's really sad to know. Do you understand? We need to come basically with a better attitude. If we're saying that, you know, we're saying that we believe in Pan-Africanism, we believe in our brothers and sisters, and we need to come with a different attitude, because what we're saying and what we're doing doesn't match. What we're saying and what we're doing does not match. Like, I remember when, you know, during the time of COVID, when I was in Rwanda, and we made the bold decision to stay in Rwanda, continue to invest in our legacy, which is the hotel that we own here. But at the time, I think we were trying to occupy land, and, you know, there's all types of things that creep into your mind when you're building a legacy, when you're trying to build something big. We have small children. We haven't got all the money in the world, but we say, you know, we can do this. We can walk by faith. We're two young couple. And I remember someone saying to me, "You're not going to make it. You're not going to do it. Why don't you just give up?" Basically, my God, honest truth. That's what the person said to me. Yeah, this is not going to work. You just give up. you know. And look at that. Years later, I own, I don't want to say I, because I is selfish. We own a peninsula island. We own a hotel. That's our legacy. That's something we pass down to our children. I've learned so much about Rwandan culture. I'm teaching my children alongside my husband about teaching my children about the Rwandan culture. You know, I'm learning the language, I'm learning the dance, I'm learning more about the people, I'm learning more about the history and their pain and how they're trying to move forward in their struggles. You know, I've learned so much because I didn't give up. I didn't listen to that person or those people who were telling me that I should give up. I didn't allow the noise. I filtered out the noise because there was also people who were from the diaspora who were coming to Rwanda, and like you just felt their energy was off, you know. And as much as like I'm not a person who holds bad feelings, I'll rather just be like, okay, that person is not for me. I don't feel your energy, and I'll just let you go. Do you understand? Because I'm Lady Visionary. I've got to keep focused. I've got to keep on track. You know, when other people are going left, I need to go right. I'm not someone who needs to follow the crowd. That's never been me. I don't need validation from people in order to carry out my mission on this earth. I don't need that. And so the same thing, some of us are seeking validation. You've hooked onto somebody else's vision. What is your dream? What is your vision? Share that with the necessary people. You don't have to share that with everyone. And if things are not going right, reevaluate, think about it, start again. Maybe you've hooked onto the wrong people. Maybe those people are not even for you. Maybe those people don't even mean well for you, but because you're not being attentive, you're not observing. Because one thing I learned is how to use my observational skills. Why? Because Kinyarwanda is a difficult language to speak, to understand, to learn, you know. And even up till now, my Kinyarwanda is not is you know, is just about conversational. But I've learned the power of observational skills and how I can use that to direct me and help me to filter out the people who don't mean well for me, whether that be Rwandans or whether that be diasporans from the West or from Europe. I've tried to help people, you know, and that's kind of backfired on me in some few instances where I've gone out on a good path to help someone or help people and it's backfired. So had to say, right, you know what, I'm going to take a step back. I'm really going to listen to my intuition. I'm really going to rely on that discerning spirit, that intuition that's saying, nah, something about this doesn't feel right. Something about this person just doesn't feel right, you know? So unity, back to African unity, as Kwame Nkrumah said, you know, united we stand, but divided we fall. And I'm just like, I just want to unite with the right people, because not everybody is the right people. Let me tell you that. And you have to be able to work your way through that, think through that. Maybe there are people that are dragging you into partnerships, people that are just telling you information, whether it be good information or bad information. You need to be able to assess that for yourself. Is this also in line with what I want to do? Am I just jumping on the bandwagon because, and half the time, maybe that person may not even know what they're doing per se. They're just kind of going with the flow, going with the wind, you know? you know, when I came to Rwanda initially, I know, yes, I had a plan, but partially I was kind of going with the wind because I'm like, well, I just got to learn and know what's happening. I'm on the field now. The field is very different to, or should I say, the reality is very different to, you know, what I was reading online when I was in the UK and things like that. And you know, when it comes to now being on the ground and, you know, going through different processes, that's when you really learn a lot, whether it's in Rwanda, whether it's in the Gambia, whether it's in Ghana, you really learn a lot. That's why I've said many times on this channel to people who want to relocate, like, come first to visit, gain an understanding in terms of your area of interest, really gain some clarity, key information before you decide on relocating. Very important. Maybe there are other businesses that have tried to do the same thing as you or doing the same similar thing as you want to do. Then, you know, connect with those businesses, reach out to those businesses, and gather information. Once you come and you gather information from people on the ground, people living on the ground, how their experiences have been, some of their challenges, what are the disadvantages, what are the advantages of living in Rwanda, you know, how have they been able to maneuver themselves, what have been some of their strategies. That's how we're uniting as diasporans, when we share information, because we want each other to win, as opposed to be like, oh, you know, so and so, and the information that you're giving out is gossip. That's not going to help anybody. Do you understand? And that's where you have to be like, okay, because if a person's just sitting there giving you gossip, already you know that that's not the right energy. That's not the right energy. That's not credible information that you can use to inform part of your vision or what your goals in terms of what you want to achieve. Um, Sharon Goodin says, have a wonderful day, everyone. Blessings. So I'm giving you an opportunity to ask me any questions. Remember to like, support the live if you want to. I'd appreciate that very much. I'm getting back into the stride. I'm getting back into, you know, connecting more with the audience. It's been a while, but, you know, I'm back. I'm back. And hopefully you've seen my recent video on Musanze. Let me know what you think on that video. So I'm really kind of working and on my content and pushing more and sharing more with you guys. Yeah. Let me see if I can. Let's see. I want to try to invite guests. Okay, maybe I can. I'm going to put out the link for anybody who wants to. As I said, it's not necessary for me to see your face. Okay, here we go. I've put, okay. I don't seem to be able to share the link. It's not allowing me to share. Okay, there we go. So I've sent out the link in the comment section. The topic is about diaspora unity, the importance of it, the challenges perhaps. So if anybody's interested to speak on the topic just for a couple of minutes, or, you know, if you have anything valuable to add to the conversation, I'd really love to hear from you, right? Don't be shy. You don't have to show your face. Don't worry, you don't have to show your face. You can actually disconnect your video, but make sure your audio is on, and share something with us. Share something. I give you guys a couple of minutes. Make sure you smash the like button if you have enjoyed the conversation, or if you think that I haven't spoke on something important, then drop me a hint in the comment section. Right. So I'm not seeing anyone join. So I guess you guys are shy. I'm here with my fennel tea. Um, Fennel tea with honey. Um, you guys need to find out about the health benefits. Fennel tea, oh my God, with honey. Mwah. So those of you who are joining, the conversation is about diaspora unity, maybe some of the challenges. If anybody has anything they want to add to the conversation, then um, you can click on the link in the comment section and come through. I'll accept you through. You don't have to have your video on, but also if you want to ask me any questions, you can also come on the live, or I'm just going to give you an opportunity to send a question in the comment section, and I will try my best to answer your question. If not, maybe it will be another time, because you guys seem to be a bit shy. So as I said, I'm here enjoying a cup of fennel tea. Make sure you research the benefits. And I started this conversation by saying, or encouraging you guys out there um, to take your health more seriously, be more conscious about what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. You are what you eat. Take more exercise, be conscious of spending too much time on social media, invest in your health, invest in your well-being. Cardiovascular diseases such as high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes are on the rise amongst the Black community in the West. Um, uh, in the West, so in the US, in the UK, but also we're seeing a pattern, a change in Africa as well. So a rise in cardiovascular diseases, stroke and diabetes, hypertension. It's on the rise also in Africa as well. So, I've been more health conscious. I'm utilizing my garden more to plant foods, different foods. I'm eating more organically, right? So I want to challenge you out there to take more control of your health and your well-being. I want to challenge you today to start today, whether it's cutting down sugar, cutting down on fats, cutting down on fast foods. When you're having your tea, like I'm enjoying a cup of fennel tea right now, instead of using sugar, use honey. I'm using homegrown honey. I'm homegrown honey. I'm using homemade honey, right? From Rwanda. So instead of taking sugar, I take honey. And instead of a lot of us like to put a lot of salt in our foods. Like try putting more like natural herbs instead of like salts and sugars within our foods, right? So I'm challenging you today to start today, right? To take control of your health and well-being, because if you're wanting to live longer, if you're wanting to live out your true purpose, then your health is more valuable than anything. Your health is what is going to take you to the next level, right? So I challenge you today to take control of your health. And remember, guys, united we stand, divided we fall. So let's try as the diaspora to have strong unity amongst ourselves, to have transparency, collaboration, to lead with a heart that is selfless, to clear our minds of selfishness, bad-mindedness, and gossip. I think that's where we're going to really strive and be successful as a united diaspora. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully this has been useful, and I'll see you all in the next one. So take care until next time, guys. Bye.